I saw this video the other day, the most hated VTuber, and it's about somebody that I am constantly taking inspiration from, and sometimes I just use the exact same style title as he does because I find it very catchy. But yeah, we're going to be looking at this. Royalty is here, and let's get right into it.
VTubers as of recently. Don't worry, it was completely involuntary. I wouldn't condone the knowledge I've absorbed being put on anyone else. But since their first conception in 2016, and later popularity in 2019 to 2020, which has carried it all the way to the present day, where like endless mitosis, they've reproduced to the point where they are everywhere. There's a VTuber for every animal almost.
Dude, there's VTubers crawling out of my ass right now. It's not even like I'm not making it up. I think it was I don't know, Sony or one of the other companies like reached out to me and was just kind of like, hey, we need you to shit out more VTubers for us. It's kind of we really would appreciate it. We can't really use the technology we have, and your budget seems to put them together at a much higher and more productive pace. And I was like, all right, dude, I can do that.
I'm still waiting on a water bear VTuber though, or one that is inspired by a slot machine that has a gambling addiction. I feel like I'd resonate with them very well. But due to its popularity, there are a range of VTubing personalities. Some more reserved and safe for work, some at the other side of the spectrum, and then some you'd think were on a different type of spectrum, with whatever the fuck this is.
I'm hungry! Treat!
Shoot it! Fucking shoot it now!
I'll do a backflip for a treat! I'll do a backflip for a treat!
They make content.
It's not a fucking backflip. That's a somersault, you dipshit.
They stream. Some have their own lore better than any of the latest Marvel movies.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money.
Dude, any of those, every single one of those except for the Venom series, because I at least thought the first Venom movie was okay. It was like, okay. But every other movie that was in that, like, Spider-Man Sony villain verse was just AIDS, and I think they should have, like cut the dead arm off way earlier. It had frostbite. It was never going to work again, and nobody wants a hand they can't jerk off with, right? So they should have just cut it off way earlier.
Their own meet and greets at events. They even have their own concerts which sell a lot of tickets. The internet is infatuated with VTubers, and VTubing is accessible to anyone. If you can fork out the money for a VTubing model with multiple toggles and features, like a tit slider and jiggle physics, which is essentially like jingling keys for the absolute gooners of the VTuber audience. However, VTubing has become slightly...
See, I do that for you guys too. What I do is I'll just get my tits out because they're really big and massive, and I'm just like, oh, goo gaga, oh, goo gaga. And that's kind of why I keep them off stream, because I think what I'm saying has such profound meaning and such a good message to the masses that I don't want you guys staring at my tits.
Slightly oversaturated over the years, and it is hard to differentiate yourself from the sheer amount of VTubers that there is. But apart from that, VTubing comes with a lot of benefits over their fleshy counterparts, like being able to say the most abhorrent and viscous statements with complete anonymity.
Where's your fucking art degree, buddy? Where's your fucking art degree? Oh, you have one? Okay, Hitler.
Probably due to the sheer popularity and benefit.
Bro, that was amazing. Okay, where's your art degree, buddy? Where's your fucking art degree? Get out of here, Hitler. I loved that. I was actually, I don't know who that person was, but that was hilarious. That was a great insult.
Bits of being a VTuber, you can now find many other content creators.
Shoot it. Not like Ludwig as a person, but his fucking VTuber thing. This was disgusting and weird. He's the weird... I don't like Ludwig. He's like a fucking dude. He's like the worst guy to ever be in the drama space ever, because he was like, I'm a Twitch streamer, but actually I'm gonna do the drama commentary thing. And he did like the most fucking soy milk like butt chugging I've ever seen ever.
Creators adopting their own VTuber personality. But with the vast amount of people partaking in such format, with a variety of personalities and opinions, it's only natural that some VTubers would be favoured over others, and some just outright hated. This brings me to the topic of today's video. One of the most hated VTubers that recently can't seem to catch a break, someone that had the complete opposite reputation only a few years ago, and someone I've spoken about before but never really in depth, Nuxtaku. Yasina's Gunpei has recently removed herself from the internet due to people finding out that she wasn't in fact single and dating all her audience.
Yeah, I don't know who that person is, but I always find it funny when a famous streamer that's like a chick, people find out they're dating somebody, they're like, and they just get all mad on the internet and throw little tantrums. It's like, come on, dude, come on. Like, you really thought they were gonna fuck you, bro? They're a personality, and they got like 800,000 subs. You really think that they're gonna fuck you while you're sitting in your room full of trash, bro? Get the fuck out of here, dog. You have a sad life. Clean your shit up. Go find a woman, and then you can live in a house of trash because you've already won.
Which was a new level of parasocial degeneracy. She even invited them to send dick pics as part of the
I'm wondering why I'm looking down. My baby's like crawling around over here, and I have to make sure she doesn't like go Geronimo mode on the cat, because then the cat will whoop her ass, and I don't want that to happen because I love my child and don't want to get her to get hurt. Yeah, doofus. I love you.
Girlfriend experience, but she's gone now, and probably has a solid terabyte of uncut penis on her hard drive, and that one other VTuber really doesn't count in this category, because most people still don't know they exist, which is partially a good thing. So the title now falls on Nux, as in recent years he's been regarded to be one of the most hated VTubers, and still to this day gets shit like a public outhouse more than any other VTuber.
By the way, he gets tons of shit, but I think Nux is actually really funny. I don't agree with, like, so Nux, on his Nuxanor channel, he's been going down the, kind of right-wing pipeline type thing. Now, if you're like, oh, the right-wing pipeline doesn't exist, it does exist. So does the left-wing pipeline. They both exist. They're both things. It's called the internet, and it will fucking set your mind in a certain direction. We've all been down it. If you're acting like you haven't been down a political pipeline, you're a fucking retard. Anyways, I like Nux. I think he's funny. I think he puts an engaging thing, even if I don't agree with all of his politics. Now, I like to leave you guys with a little facade of where I sit. I'm sure you guys probably already, like, guessed I'm more center-right, but I like to kind of keep it, I like to play back. I don't like to, like, go full politics on my stream ever. Every once in a while, I'll do a shoe on a head video, but that's about it. But Nux has kind of gone pretty far. Woo! But I still enjoy his shit on Hasan content, because anybody who shits on Hasan is interesting to me. Well, not anybody. I mean, there's, like, I'm sure that there's people out there like fucking Nick Fuentes that I fucking hate, like, with a passion, but I do find Nux's, like, anime reviews good. I find his Hasan content hilarious. I've always kind of enjoyed him. I think he's funny. And I used to actually watch the Some Ordinary podcast, and he was my least favorite person on the Some Ordinary podcast because I didn't know who he was, and then I watched his actual content, and I think his content was better than that podcast ever was.
But who is Nuxtaku? How did he become so hated, and does he deserve it?
I'm just incredibly famous on the internet, so people decide to try to cancel me on Twitter for some reason because they're jealous of my incredible success.
So for one of the most hated VTubers...
It's just the way he says things, bro. Maybe it's his Jewishness, his Jewishness. He's maybe got that, like, God, who is Larry David? He's kind of got that Larry David energy sometimes, and I think that helps. Now, I'm just making fun of him being Jewish because I think it's funny, and I know Nux makes fun of himself being Jewish, so I'm gonna just fucking double down like a monster.
You'd have probably expected this man to have spawned straight from the spread cheeks of Nurgle, with malice and hate as his prerogative.
Bro, one day here soon, bro. One day here soon, my videos will have these fucking ad cuts as well, bro, and it's gonna be so glorious. By the way, like and subscribe my videos, bro. Let's get me up to where I can be bigger than Nux, and I can, like, look down on his stupid blue face and say, here, listen here, Bluey, you're just an Australian show that children watch, you stupid fucking cuck.
Isn't that far from the truth? Nux originally started posting on the internet in 2015 with anime-based videos which I cannot relate to in any way. Anybody that has ever made such content should be lined up and shot with hollow point 7.62 rounds, but I digress. Nux had made his start on the internet making primarily anime-targeted content, which people actually loved. A major critique against Nux from previous fans seems to be that they enjoyed it when he just made anime-themed content rather than the content he would later shift to. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so I do have to say, like, his main channel, Nuxtaku, he does have he has kind of gone back to just, like, anime and like lore dives. So his Nuxtaku channel I think is still pretty like safe. You know what I mean? It's still I still feel like it's very oriented into kind of fandoms. But then he has a second channel where he does like drama commentary stuff, and that channel's unhinged, and that's my favorite channel. Nuxanor channel, when he's talking about like internet goofballs, that's my favorite. When he does the politics thing, I'm like, it's kind of become more politics. But like his regular channel, where I get my fucking, I like listening to his reactions to Warhammer. I don't know. I've always liked Nuxtaku. I might be a fucking like a crazy person for enjoying him, but I find him to be a very enjoyable guy.
But in the current time frame, the gravy train was not ending for Nux. He collaborated with many content creators doing the same niche he was, that at the time held a lot of influence on the platform. And he even eventually reached over 1 million subscribers by 2019, just by once again doing anime content, and conveniently around the same time, by his own words, somehow got cancelled for the first time in the year of 2020, which was one of the first of many to come, and honestly, to Nux's credit, he has withstood a lot of them. You cannot take it away from him. Dude has tanked controversies even though sometimes it's down to his own actions. But his first cancellation, in his own words, was due to comments he made towards animes and anime characters. Yeah, we must have been very bold.
But by the way, Nux, here's the thing that I will say against Nux. Nux will take any criticism he gets and call it him getting canceled. Bro talks about how he gets canceled on daily, and it gets kind of fucking annoying, dude. It gets kind of a little bit annoying, but I mean, for like, I was gonna show like for relevancy, he brought up his subscriber count. His main channel's at 2 million subscribers, and his second channel's almost at 1 million. I mean, the dude is cooking in terms of views. The dude's for somebody being canceled, he is doing really fucking good. And every time he brings up being canceled, I'm like, bro, you haven't slowed down at all. So obviously, you're not actually getting canceled.
In 2020. And one of the comments that put him under scrutiny was when he referred to male anime characters that presented themselves as feminine under the title of traps, which I discovered recently has become a slur. Thank you for the 2020 slur patch note.
Dude, I hate when you can, like, a word, like, a phrase or a word will just be, like, normal, everybody will use it, it'll be a thing, and then one group will decide, we don't like when people call us that, and then turn it into a fucking slur. It's so gay and cringe, bro. It's so lame, it's so retarded, I hate it. It's just like, come on, dude, why are we word policing? I hate word policing. I think it's the dumbest, most, like, fucking cum goblin thing you can possibly do. It's like, he used schmiggly bottom and I am a schmiggly top.
It's 5 years later, and to be honest, I haven't heard anyone use the word trap in a while. The second thing he was accused of was being racist, because he pronounced Full Metal Alchemist like this. And the third thing was that he was
Oh, dude, I got some videos going out that I'm gonna get cooked on, bro. I watched this is, you'll see this on my channel eventually, but I've watched some Flash Kid stuff, and I use that same voice when I'm Asian Jesus.
Sexist for talking about anime female characters in a negative way, but sorry to say, Sakura is a fucking useless character.
All of the characters in Naruto are useless characters. Every character in that show should be fucking put in a barrel and put in the shredder and then go watch something better.
To say it, she would have been more useful as a shuriken shield than anything else in the story, but out of all the controversies that Nux would later have, this one was by far the least impactful on his online reputation. But Nux's response to these allegations and critiques gives you a good example on Nux's online persona, which has persisted even to this present day. He kind of just told them to go f*** themselves, and he clammed on the people hating on him, and clarified he wasn't in the wrong because the majority of the time he was just talking about anime characters.
I don't think I did anything that warrants an apology, and therefore I, Lord D. Nuxanor, will not be apologized.
This is the persona a lot of people revered him for. He was someone that had relatively no filter and was certainly unapologetic.
Good. I fucking hate these people who like self-censor themselves to the point that they turn into somebody like iDubbbz, where like, you have to get on and be conscious about everything you say. Now fuck you, dude. I want to come out here. I want to just kind of like flap my titties in the wind and have a good time. Yeah, this is why I'm drawn more to people like Nuxanor, I guess, and a lot of these like unfiltered motherfuckers, is because I just feel like there's some authenticity still on the internet. I hate how inauthentic everything's become. It's become so desensitized that it's starting to feel like regular media, and that's gross. It's stupid. It's lame. I want us to get a little bit back to the Wild West. It's just so lame how everybody's like, well, yeah, you're saying that in 2025. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. What day did you wake up and lose your sense of humor, you stupid fucking ground troll?
For it. He was loud, energetic, satirical, and in his own words, he just loved the chaos and just flexing on the haters. That is also a term I haven't heard for a while. People loved this about him. It was somewhat of a breath of fresh air for that time, which to many's horror, someone with the same characteristics and significantly less apologetic was about to become popular around the same time.
Low tier god, dude. Oh, we're getting a low tier god arc, bro. I don't know enough about his lore, but every time he shows up, I know that it's gonna get wild. Boogie, you fat piece of shit.
I switched from due dates to due dates.
Dude, the fucking Boogie, you're a fat piece of shit video will always go down in the internet as being one of the greatest things of all time.
But all of what I've just mentioned was before he even became a VTuber. He actually only debuted as a VTuber in 2021, which mentioned before was around the boom of VTubing. Before his debut, he was like a 2D VTuber of sorts, using his character
commentary video. He was a commentary YouTuber. This is what all commentary YouTubers at the time were doing. They had a little fucking cutout. Turkey Tom did this. Leafy did this. There were so many people. It was just every community had these. I mean, Griffith Gaming was like the gaming Leafy. It was just kind of the meta at the time. The post. It was like kind of a relaying back to like the pre 2016 era to like the post 2016 era that there was. This was kind of like catching mainstream, and I mean, even people who still did this, what's his name? It's a Gundam even VTubes now.
Looks like a black tar heroin version of Sans from Undertale, but he was never considered a VTuber till that day of early 2021. And compared to other VTubing models, it did get its fair share of criticism. It didn't track very well. Sometimes his lips didn't collaborate very well with what he was saying. People once again thought he was just a Sans Undertale clone. And where were the big boobers and tit sliders? Disgraceful. But many of his fans actually loved it.
Yeah, dude. Nux, where are your giant meaty fucking boobs? There's a couple of guy VTubers who fucking just talk like their normal voice and they have a chick, and I'm sure they're doing it to be ironic. And some of their content, like I'm trying to think, there's like that Rev guy or whatever. I don't remember the dude's name, but he does like fucking culture war shit. That dude, it bothers me. It actually distracts me from the video because he's like talking about like how fucking woke everything is while he's like race swapping. I don't know, or gender swapping or whatever. It just comes off weird. It's like, oh, I want my audience to see my big fat titties, or I want them to see that I'm a fucking girl, and they click on it because I'm a girl, and then it's like, bro, you're a dude. Just do what Nux does. He's a dude. He's fucking his avatar's a dude. Same with It's a Gundam, but these fucking guys are out here like, look, I put tits on screen.
Collaborated very well with his online personality and content, but after this he did start to stray away from his anime themed content with VTuber related videos and general trends at the time. Like, I gave X amount to a starving Serbian child, and he even threw a few songs in there as well. But with his new type of content, he started to receive a lot more attention. Even with the disagreement from his older fans, he managed to reach 2 million subscribers. And even
and this is something I actually want to cut in and say. I mean, so there's people that, even with me, I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, but there's people who even say like, dude, I miss when you used to just do gaming. And it's like, yeah, but I want to grow. Like, here's the thing, on the YouTube landscape, you have to like figure out how to set yourself apart from the pack. And if you just do what everybody else is doing in that in a certain niche, you'll be stuck in there, and your exponential chance for growth won't be that far. Now, I looked at a lot of these other people who still do their, like Nux, for example. Nux is a great example of kind of the modem I'm doing. Actually, everybody on this screen here, except for your boy Hart, I don't know what he fucking does, but everybody else, they do their shit that they like. Like, you got Mudahar does his dark web deep dives. You got Oompaville, he still does his like locale stuff, but at the same time, they also cover drama, they also cover everything that's going on, they cover topical shit. They're constantly doing other stuff to keep them in the algorithm, to keep people clicking on their shit, and that's just what you have to do as a YouTuber. I'm sorry, a lot of people are like, oh, I miss when you were just like 5,000 your biggest video was 5,000 views and you had more passion or something. It's like, my passion isn't gone, I just stretch myself a lot more so that I can grow and try to be successful, because I want this to be a beneficial way to make money on the platform. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I really don't. Now, some people might disagree with me, but I don't want to be making game reviews for the next 10 years to maybe get monetized. It's just not what I'm here to do. I love making my game reviews. I think they're fun. I have a lot of passion behind them, but at the same time, I want to be successful.
Collaborate with the top echelons of YouTube, like Someordinarygamers, Moist Critical, Oompaville, and Lost Paws, who I feel like I haven't seen in a while, and obviously other VTubers like Bao and Iron Mouse. He even started a podcast in 2021 with Oompaville and Mutahar, just talking about things that happened on the internet. And even though his older fans criticised him, his content had changed drastically, and he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. All of this was outweighed by the support and positivity for him. However,
I love that he wore fucking, like, fuzzy slippers to that interview. What a fucking goblin, bro.
Number of controversies regarding his own actions, the tide of positivity quickly turned against him. And in the current day, he doesn't collaborate with many YouTubers like he used to. His content has mainly evolved into just slop reaction content. Oops, sorry, wrong channel. And on his second channel, he's dived into politics, which has also landed him in hot water. And many of the people that were once close to him have seemingly distanced themselves from him. Many address him now with either infamousy or just outright hate.
The fucking Mudahar thing was the most cringe thing ever. I was gonna cover it because I was starting to do drama at the time. I was gonna cover that whole thing, but it was so cringe, dude. It was so bad. Well, and I can give you a quick lore dive on what happened. Is basically a video that Nux used to find videos on YouTube that were... What the fuck are you doing, DeMarco? Get the fuck out of there. My cat's like goblining mode under the table. I don't know what the fuck that dude's doing, but he's making clinkety clankety noises like a stupid fucking rat. Cat, be a good kitty. Anyways, he basically had all these old videos where he would show like weird almost hentai stuff that was on YouTube to other YouTubers, like as shock shit. It was a bit, bro. It was like 2016 bullshit, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. I'm sorry, like, get the fuck out of here. But Chud Logic got one of the people that was really a pushing force, and it was Chud Logic. Now, I have a lot of respect for Chud Logic. I think he does a lot of good when it comes to the drama thing, but I think he got like he almost got like that unhealthy like Nux to Hasan type of obsession over this motherfucker, and was trying to it was after the Vosh like horse bullshit, and I think that people who didn't like Nux saw it as an opportunity to try to like rope him into that, to try to say, oh well, they're the same because of this. And then Mudahar, who's always trying to fucking virtue signal, got put in the crosshairs, and then had to like, I don't know, he spent too much time on Reddit. It's the most retarded drama I had ever seen. It was nothing close to the fucking having hentai pop up on your computer while live streaming. It was nothing close to that, but they wanted to lump it in the same category, even though Nux has millions of times for like years and years has been anti-lolly. All of a sudden it was, oh, well, we're gonna lump him into the same category, even though he was kind of just showing the shit you can find on YouTube, which is crazy because you can look right now and find some of the most abhorrent shit on YouTube. You know, people like Leafy and MXR Plays can get nuked off the platform over sneezing in the wrong direction, right? But oh no, YouTube has pussy pics every fucking time you want to look them up. They're there probably because that's how YouTube is. I mean, a couple months ago, if you typed in a certain amount of keywords and a certain amount of things, you could find some abhorrent shit on this platform. But oh no, we gotta like police, we gotta police these fucking people who are making fun of that shit.
it, which is very polarizing when compared to his previous years on the platform. But what are these controversies, and does he deserve a reputation that is essentially on the same level as a urinal cake marinated in piss?
And the point that I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno.
Now, probably one of the first major and most confusing controversies Nux faced was in 2021 with Vshoujo. Conveniently not long after he debuted, Vshoujo is a VTubing agency with many of the juggernauts of the VTubing scene under their belt, like Iron Mouse, Project Melody, Zentreya, Fruit, and many more being added to this day. However, even before the events occurred, Nux and the talent of Vshoujo were on good terms. They created content together, interacted in the cesspool that is Twitter, and just all around seemed to have a good relationship. However, in 2021, somebody was targeting Vshoujo, and were pretending to be Vshoujo in order to gather VTubers' personal information to harass, dox, and even swat them. Some of the emails appeared like they were coming from Vshoujo recruitment, and one specifically was sent to an indie VTuber, where they essentially thought their dreams were coming true, and they were asked to join Vshoujo, but first they would have to put all their information in which the police then showed up to their house because they had just been swatted. Nux had received
This is so fucked, dude. This is so disgusting. I hate people like this. This is like some of the shit that makes me hate the internet, is when it goes, and this is why I was like, I go so hard on like the Hasan Ethan drama, is because once it goes into IRL, I think it's the most disgusting shit ever.
the same email, but he knew it wasn't Vshoujo. He got in contact with the Vshoujo management team and cybersecurity team to tell them what was happening and that potentially more VTubers are going to fall victim to this, but Vshoujo was already aware this was happening and were doing their own investigation. Nux began his own investigation by providing the wrong information to the email so they would contact him, and at one point they even flexed they had his information in a Discord server for some reason.
Dude, he's using 40 chess moves to get the fucking Discord retards to Discord retard. Well, look at that. Look at that. That's, these people are such losers. Come on. Why do you need these motherfuckers' personal information so bad? Why do people exist like this? You really have nothing else going on in your life? Dear God.
I did two Nux by one of his apparent fans.
There's sources of info that I got, which are kind of hilarious. This dude was flexing that he got my real name and phone number, which he didn't, and he was posting it in his Discord servers, and one of the people in the Discord server that he was posting it was a fan of mine.
Nux was working on a full video covering this topic and spreading awareness about it. The Vshoujo's cybersecurity team and management knew about this video being made and were communicating directly with Nux about the video through things like Discord, and he even showed them the video before it was released. This also involved one of the Vshoujo talents that was never named.
Someone is out there impersonating Vshoujo, the massive VTuber group. They tried to steal my info, dox me, and swat me, and they've successfully done this to many, many other VTubers. This is not...
Now, to Nux's credit, the video promptly spread awareness about the situation, potentially saving more indie VTubers that would want to join Vshoujo, and just spreading awareness about
And this is a good thing. This is like a big W. I don't know. There's probably going to be some controversy involved in this, but fucking anytime you see shit like this, you should expose it. And obviously, it should be the best thing to do. And any type of bad actor like this should be fucking gulagged.
Cybersecurity etiquette. Yes, if you received an email from Jerkman saying you're the top 1% of Jerkers, and they want to deliver your own personal golden encrusted fleshlight, they just need you to fill out all your personal information, they were probably lying to you. But you'd think people would rejoice at such a positive thing Nux had done. Yes, people did initially praise him for this video, and Vshoujo also thanked him, and one of the perpetrators allegedly had their information turned over to the police, but the positive acclamations for Nux quickly turned when many of the Vshoujo VTubers publicly criticized Nux for making a video on the topic with allegations levied against him of being a clout chaser and potentially putting them in danger. With the fact that many of the Vshoujo team had apparently told him not to make the video, but he did so anyway, and many of them just wanted the video removed, in which it was 3 days later. Now, it's important to note that within the video, none of the Vshoujo members were mentioned directly. The only other VTuber mentioned in the video was Saki, who was the victim that got swatted, and in fact responded positively to the video being made, so the only way this would put VShoujo talent in danger would be inspiring other people to do the same. But VShoujo knew about it. Even one of the members was in the Discord with the cybersecurity team and Nux. And once again, they thanked him and even provided an official statement at the end of the video. But it appears the VShoujo talent were not informed about this at all.
Dude, this is so fucking cringe, bro. This is where I hate people on the internet, how they're so fucking fake and spineless and shit. They see that there's some pushback because these fucking little internet goblins get upset when anybody points in their direction and says they're fucking internet goblins. They suck cum out of fucking straws up their nose, and then everybody gets all mad. And then the pushback falls on these guys, and they get a little bit of pushback, and they're like, oh no, I only ever get positive comments. How does this happen? Why am I getting any negativity? And then they fucking flip the script and become absolute fucking little pussy bitch monsters. They're like a vagina with teeth that just bite off everything that's willing to insert inside them. It's fucking lame, dude. I hate people like this.
Hence why a lot of them were denouncing Nux's video. And to make things worse, VShoujo management deleted their thank you to Nux, and then went with a narrative that they always told him never to make the video. And everyone proceeded to pile on Nux. Now, if you've been stunlocked, it's no surprise all of this is very confusing, but to break this down for you like SpaghettiOs, this is basically a tale of poor communication, where the VShoujo members were not told beforehand about this, except for the one VShoujo member that was in the group apparently. The VShoujo team thought they communicated directly to Nux that they didn't want this video to be made, with only 2 instances, one before he even started the video, and 2 when they were actively helping him with the video, where they didn't tell him directly to not make the video, and even thanked him for it. But when the VShoujo talent had problems with it, they then withdrew their thanks, and once again reinstated their stance they never wanted him to make this video, despite once again being informed and having some part in it. They also expressed concerns about the one person he called a fan, who was the one that told him they were leaking the fake information, that they were a part of the attack and could be feeding him misinformation. That is the bare bones of what happened, and Nux was facing a mountain of backlash for it, even though his...
This is so bullshit, dude. This is like how... This is why the internet... This is why you have so many bad actors on the internet, and this is why, like, shit, like, jumping on... Like, you'll see these giant, like, groups and click-ups that happen like this, where they just kind of do these little harassment campaigns or whatever, and I'm not saying this one was in general harassment campaign, but every drama kind of turns this way, but it's, like, group against group, and it's because of shit like this, because a couple of them get a little fucking hair in their ass, but because they're getting a little bit of pushback because of this controversy. Why haven't you spoke out about this? Why is Nux the only one doing it? And then they feel like they were slighted. So, and because he was the first to talk about it, and he's not even from VShoujo, we have to fucking speak out against it, and it becomes this like fucking shit throwing contest. I hate this shit.
Heart was in the right place, and he did inform the group. I just wanted to bring light to this situation to prevent any further victims. He kind of just got thrown under the bus due to an apparent miscommunication with him and the cybersecurity and management team of VShoujo.
Ready to lose the hat and
dude, this is why, like, dude, you can't do anything on the internet without this reminds me of when so when fucking iDubbbz made his like snake in the grass apology, which anybody with fucking eyes that weren't retarded knew that he was full of shit. And wow, we're in 2025 and he was full of shit. He made another content cop. What a shocker. But fucking Moist Critical came out with one of the most regular Moist takes ever, where he did some pushback. It wasn't even like he was attacking iDubbbz. He said that he understood the apology, he just thought it was unnecessary, and everybody attacked him. Everyone attacked him because, oh, you just want him to say the N-word now. And it's just how the internet works, bro. They find the most retarded bullshit they can muster in their second, and then fucking just go scorched earth on a motherfucker. I don't understand why they do it, but that's what happens, and then it turns into, what team are we on today? It's so fucking gay and cringe.
The dust settled, Nux just wanted to move on, and all parties apologised, including the VShoujo VTubers. But for his first major controversy, he received a lot of backlash for this, even though, once again, his heart was in the right place. And the real problem was the people doxing and swatting people. But the next one is something I've spoken about before, so I'll give you the cliff notes. But it's one that Nux regards as his biggest mistake, and one that took around 2 years to somewhat conclude.
And I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation.
A fellow VTuber by the name of Tiger had a document created about them alleging they were a predator. The document was produced by individuals that were previous mods and stalkers of Tiger, and in 2022, Nux made a video with Moist Critical going over VTuber drama. Moist didn't know about a lot of these VTubers or dramas, and the video was essentially Nux giving a tour through the many controversies of the VTuber community and explaining them. However, he does eventually get to Tiger and says he doesn't know much about the situation, but then continues to convey the message they were a predator. And with someone like Moist Critical in the video, a lot of people saw it.
Left to money.
Is this HoloLive?
No. Tyga is an indie streamer who, I don't know the whole story, but Tyga was outed to be a
Oh.
Now, Tiger was exonerated from these clips.
That's so fucked. This is such a fuck up. Like, this is the thing, like, it's tough when you don't know all the ins and outs of a drama and then you cover it. I think this happened to Oompaville, with the whole Ethan Klein thing. Again, I'm bringing that up again because it's been the most relevant drama as of late. But he came out, made a shitty video about it and then instantly deleted it because he realized he didn't have, like, half of the information necessary to have the context of the situation, and then pulled out. And I think that, when this shit happens, the best thing to do is just say, sorry, I fucked it up. It's a lot different when it comes to calling somebody a pedophile, you know, but God, it's just such a fuck up, dude. He should have researched all of them before he actually jumped in, or if he didn't know all the information, just omit them from the video.
Claims a few months later, and Nux did pin a comment regarding the Tiger situation under the video, and he even removed that part in the video. He also apologized privately to Tiger for this, but many thought the damage was already done. 6 months later, Nux brings up the situation on his podcast, once again saying he messed up, and he was going off the information what other people told him, and that once again he had privately apologized for this.
Like, I alleged it also because a friend told me, and I regret it because he, you know, I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Taiga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that, and like because a friend told me.
Now you would think this is where it would end.
Yeah, no, I feel like I saw this episode of Some Ordinary Podcast or whatever. I think this was Some Ordinary Podcast. I don't know. If it was Mama Max, it was Some Ordinary Podcast. But like that's what the best you can do is you apologize, you move on, and you just keep making your content. I don't think it like killed fucking Nux's channel or anything, but I mean when you fuck up like that, you should be honest about it. I mean it happened to Keemstar too, where he alleged somebody was like that, was wrong, and then had to fucking eat crow.
Somewhat apologized and learned his lesson that, you know, you should verify information before voicing it, especially when it's a serious allegation, which he did do again around the same time against another YouTuber and VTuber called Rev, where they got into a whole kerfuffle and made a video.
I'm getting back on track.
He actually, I saw recently he reacted to a Rev video, and I don't think that they hate each other. I think they just had a little spat at this time.
Was removed recently with a weird comment from Nux where if he was to do a video on Rev, with his influence and podcast, YouTube would probably take his channel down.
If I make a video roasting this dude on my main channel, YouTube will literally deplatform him. Like, YouTube actually watches my stuff, especially ever since I've been on the Some Ordinary podcast. YouTube has really been paying attention to like what we've been saying, and I'll be honest, if I would make a video on him on the main channel, I do think he'd get taken down for either bullying or the whole weird pedo stuff.
But a few months later, he would claim YouTube are actively suppressing him, which just contradicts his past claim, but he did apologize for this around 2 years later.
And
this was just fucking hubris. This was like cringe hubris shit. I think that a lot of the people, like there was this time during towards the end of the Some Ordinary podcast where they all had pretty big fucking heads about themselves. I think they all kind of felt really big after the Mama Max thing. I mean, the Mama Max thing was such a big takedown, and it was such a big fucking slap that this fucker was a snake in the grass. And also the completionist drama. They had two huge successful like where we showed these people are bad fucking actors and the whole internet was behind them. And when you have the entire internet behind you, you think you're bulletproof, and that's where you get this fucking hubris where you think that you are all powerful, and nobody should feel that way.
I said in my old stream that I foolishly uploaded on Nuxanor. And yeah, I was definitely out of pocket when I talked about Rev like 2-3 years ago, whenever the fuck that was.
But with the Tiger situation, it wasn't done yet, as Tiger thought it wasn't a good apology, because Nux claimed privately they would publicly clear the slate regarding Tiger, possibly with another video with Moist Critical. But the video or cleaning of the public slate never came.
This guy Bungo Tiger, and I apologized to him privately that...
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie, I was planning on it, I'll try to clear the record more publicly. I'll also do more research. Again, I don't know right now, however, I'll try to rectify any extra damage I caused and hope you can accept my apology. This was in December 22nd, 2022. 2022! He said he was going to make a sequel video with Moist Critical. Video never came.
Now moving to 2024, Nux was still getting backlash for this mistake. People wanted him to take full accountability for this, with not just a pinned comment, not just a small segment on his podcast, and not just a private DM. And in 2024, he did apologize, saying it was the biggest fuck-up of his career, in a video where he goes over the unjust banning of VTubers on YouTube, and mentions Tiger, who was also banned on the platform. He does apologize for the situation, but adds he wasn't to blame for Tiger's deplatforming.
And I made a huge fuck-up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Tiger's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future.
Now, he apologized again. It should all go away now, right? Not really. Many viewed his apology as disingenuous, due to the fact he made comments around the same time previously contradicting the private apology, comments on the podcast, and pinned comment, so a lot of people thought all of his apologies he had made were just disingenuous anyway.
Bro! Right. I thought you cared about, stood up for small creators! I do. Especially when the small creators don't have sussy interactions in regards to minors.
And still to this day, this situation is levied against him. Now, Nux, contrary to popular belief, wasn't to blame directly for Tiger's deplatforming, but he was to blame for the spread of allegations at the time.
That is, like, he definitely, I think he could have done more, but at the same time, like, this is kind of retarded, but at the same time, like, I do think he should have done more. He's a bit of a cum goblin in this situation. Nux, you're a bit of a cum goblin, you should have done more.
And how he dealt with the situation, often apologizing, then going back on his word, then apologizing again. He all around did not deal with this situation very well, and it did have an effect on his reputation, something the next controversy only a month later would also do, and would receive 10 times more attention than any of his past controversies with the most lukewarm scenario, and that is the Jaden Animations situation. Now, most people know who Jaden Animations is. She makes animated videos, mainly storytime videos, and even herself later became a VTuber. But this whole controversy boils down to Nux that had just changed his type of content to mainly just reaction-based content, which many popular content creators do, like Asmongold and Pyrocynical, the Mounting Ugly.
Well, and here's the thing too, like, and I know people are gonna like they call me slop all the time, and it's fair enough. I mean, that's fair enough to call what I do on most of my channel slop. And it's one of those things that it's like, how you got to look at how to grow, and part of the way of growing is you see a theme that's going on YouTube, something popular, a way that is getting broached, and you're like, okay, well, this is the meta for the time, and I got to jump on this meta if I want to grow. That's plainly how it works. I'm not gonna sit here and like go after everybody who doesn't make like full like hour-long documentaries, but a lot of this is boiling down to the same as commentary. Now, if I were to take this video, right? If I were to take this video, remove my face, have the video play, and then have me cut in with segments with gameplay, people wouldn't call it as much slop, which I think is so funny when it's the exact same thing. This is just commentary, but utilized in a live stream format. And I think that, is it slop? Yes, but that just means that every commentary video has been slop, and for the most part. I mean, obviously, there's better examples of where people like concise a drama and turn it into like a better, smaller format commentary thing. But like the older style commentary of like the 2016 era, where they would take a video and like debunk the whole video, that is basically these stream react commentary videos anymore. And I think that there is a line between where it's just like a shitty reaction and where it's a commentary video, and I think that that line is important, especially for fair use. But I try to find the best way to add as much of myself and as much of my own thought process into the video as I possibly can. I mean, I get criticized so often for pausing way more than other people do. I am super hated for pausing as much as I do. I'm either called slop or I'm told I'm paused way too much, which I honestly don't see the pause way too much as a bad thing, because I feel like that means that I'm adding way more of myself, and I think it's important to do that to keep myself from just somebody who has their fucking face in the corner of the video and just shaking their head while playing somebody else's content. I'm adding something to it. I'm building upon it. Now, I do think that the other criticism was like a huge slight against Nux. I think Nux handled that situation piss poor. He was a cum falcon in that situation. I think he should have done more, especially after the dude was banned. I think that he should have made a video talking about how he was banned, how whether it was rightful or wrongful, and then also address how fucked up you were in the situation to that might have helped lead to what was his eventual ban, and if it did in any way, you were sorry about it. I think that would have been a much better way to handle it. Like, actually sit down and make a video, take like a couple hours out of your day to set up an actual video instead of just making it a react style thing.
But people had a problem with Nux due to the fact he started reacting to Jaden, and he would take the title or situation and involve himself in it. With a title like "Me and Jaden had a good 10 years on YouTube," or "Jaden Animations talks to me about dating," or "Me and Jaden forgot to file our taxes and the IRS found us," stuff like that.
We? Who's we? There is no we.
It made it look like they were doing a collab of sorts, even though I don't think there's any recorded event of them interacting. But people were not happy with this, and a whole bunch of hate was sent to Nux, especially with the perceived reputation he already had. Someone made a fake response from Jaden, which many believed, essentially telling him to fuck off. Someone made a Google Chrome extension which adds him to every YouTube
By
video.
the way, this drama is gay and cringe. I hate this. This is so fucking lame. This is such a lame. I'm gonna hit play in a second and we're just gonna get through it. But this is so cringe. This is like those people that go under every single video that's like, oh, your whole thing is clickbait. Every fucking YouTube that you click on that's worth clicking on is clickbait. It's if it's engaging enough to click on, it's clickbait in this day and age. Used to be clickbait meant that the thumbnail had nothing to do with the video's actual substance. But it's like anything that is remotely tangibly interesting to click on is clickbait in today's day and age, and it's so cringe, bro.
And someone ratioed Mr. Beast with a meme and he took credit for it. People made a Teen Titans Go reference with it, which was "and Bumblebee," which he assumed meant it was just kids making fun of him.
I'm getting canceled by Teen Titans Go children. I'm being canceled by toddlers. It's amazing.
Even though Teen Titans Go, yes, it is a bad sequel to Teen Titans, but it is pretty old now, and I think it aired quite a while ago when I was a toddler. But people that didn't know who Nux was...
Well, I mean, I am like a 47,000-year-old man, but... Come on, dude. Teen Titans Go is literally like the only thing that Cartoon Network has on its channel anymore for like kids. Because I had like a roommate like a few years, it was like 5 years ago. There was like it was like the only if you look at like what Cartoon Network does, it's just reruns of Teen Titans Go on always. That's all they put out. So like, and I'm sorry if you watch Teen Titans Go, you are a massive fucking retard. That is the worst show ever made.
Before this, just thought he was the Jaden Animations guy now, which I don't know if it's good PR or bad PR. But to be honest, he was just doing what every other React channel does, albeit changing the title slightly. I don't know why he chose Jaden. He wasn't framing any other titles like this, and he had already been doing it as far back as 2 years ago. But it was just reaction videos, which many people watch.
Well, and I I can tell you why he was doing it that way, because the first video did well. He saw that it did well. He said, okay, I'm gonna make this series on my channel. And when you do like a series, you wanted to have ties to the past video that you did. So you just continue this, you have like a continual series effect. That's just how you do things when you're making content. You're like, oh, so every time I react to this, I am going to then make sure that the next video ties into it, right? I think I've been doing that. I've only done a couple reactions to the Sword Art Online abridged, but the first one was like I've ripped Nux off on that with the 100% thing, but I put like 100%, 10% each episode. I'll add another 10% to it. Why? Because that way you people can like find it easier. It's one of those things that it's like Jaden and Nux, right? You can find it easier on the search algorithm. So I don't really fault him for this. This is why I think this is stupid.
Dingy basement. But anyway, now the last controversy, yes, we're almost there. I know I've taken up a majority of your time, but let's be honest, that time playing War Thunder or Dead by Daylight wouldn't have been time well spent, now would it? So shut up. But the last one, and probably the most impactful, was basically surrounding Lolly. Now the topic of Lolly has been debated for years now, especially within the anime community. On one side you have people that argue Lolly characters in anime or VTubing is only an aesthetic thing focused on characters that are small or have a specific body type. A key example used by this side is Rebecca from Cyberpunk, which was a whole different controversy back then, but she did get absolutely balled on in the anime. And on the other side, people say they are depictions of children, and if you sexualize them, you are a predator. With the example, some anime characters seen in that light are underage. But how does this relate to Nux? Well, Nux was heavily against Lolly publicly, saying along the lines, if you like Lolly or sexualize it, you are a predator. However, many took a look back at Nux's history with some of the content and thumbnails, some of which have been deleted and changed over the years. Many cited he had straight up involved Lolly sexually in his thumbnails or suggested such themes in his content. Even at one point he had a series where he would straight up show anime porn to other influencers to get...
Again, this is kind of a mischaracterization of this whole situation. He would find the YouTube, or the videos on YouTube, to show cringe shit on YouTube. This isn't why, like, you'd pull up some fucking hentai site and show YouTubers from a hentai site. That's not what he was doing. He was showing videos that were readily available on YouTube, which I think is more of a criticism on the platform than it is on Nux. And that's, like, something that I will stand on fucking money for, because, like, I looked into this drama, and it was mostly... It was exactly that, and I don't...
That reaction.
He has the same facial expression as Tom, bro. Whoever made this needs to be in jail.
What were we doing back then in those days of content? Jesus. Even showed hentai that was considered lolly to his fellow co-host, Mudaha.
This is a hentai? First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine, okay. It's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with the hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
But he was mainly being called out for being...
Yeah, see, it's literally, like, I have a video going up, where, like, there's literally a channel, I think it's going up, I don't know, it's going up in the next couple days, but I react to this, guy who's talking about, like, is it fap worthy? And he's talking about fucking hentai, and I thought it was the most cringy fucking weird thing I'd ever seen, and, I mean... It's entertaining, right? I don't think any of the characters are, like, lolly based, but it is, like, the cringe is real, right? Or it might have already came out by the time I re-upload this, but yeah, if you're watching the stream, it hasn't came out yet, but if you're watching my re-upload of it, it's probably already came out. But this is just like if you find cringe shit on YouTube and then have people react to the cringe shit, I don't think that that's like an attack on the creator themselves, right? I don't really see this as anything. And it's funny that all of these people that, like, were in the videos with him never said anything about it. When he gets attacked, like, it was like Tread Logic and a lot of other people decided to lump him in with the Vosh drama. All of a sudden, they're all coming out against him, which is just such snake in the grass, let me save face behavior. That's what was my problem with this whole thing. It's like, oh, I found this shit and I showed you cringe shit on the internet that are on YouTube, and now you're against it just because you don't want to be you don't want to get a little bit of internet controversy. Get the fuck out of here.
Due to the thumbnails and the videos. But what made things significantly worse at the time was the Ava Chris Tyson allegations.
Oh, it was Chris Tyson. It was, well, I mean, it was Vosh too. So there was Vosh and Chris Tyson going at this exact same time, and it was just like all over the place. This drama was all over the place. It had fucking, it had roots growing in every direction.
Where Ava was a supporter of Shadman, an infamous character online that drew NSFWR, and more notably drew NSFWR of Keemstar's daughter at the time, who was underage, which everyone viewed as fucking disgusting.
Well, okay, so, I don't know if he actually ended up, I don't know if he ever actually ended up drawing it, but he threatened to draw it. And there is, like, rumors that he actually drew the pictures. Now, I'm not defending Shadman. I think he was a fucking, since his, like, inception on the internet, he should have had his, he should have had all of his hard drives checked and gone to jail for the rest of the fucking time. They should have sent him down to El Salvador, right? But I do think that to clarify, to just be, keep everything $100 or $150, I do think that that there was never an actual drawing of it. Now, I might be wrong, and I hope that I'm not wrong, because I like to live in the happy land that somebody didn't draw a picture of somebody else's daughter in a sexual act, because that's fucking disgusting. But I think that it was just a threat at the time.
Disgusting, but after the whole Ava Chris Tyson story, a post was made showing all the creators that associate with or endorse Shadman, and Nux was listed, where he previously included Shadman's art in his thumbnails, which he did change a few days after the video was released a few years ago.
Well, see, a few days after the video was released, is that a clarification of a few days after the list was released, or a few days after the video was released? Because here's the thing, I literally, for a lot of my thumbnails, I literally just look up something that might be sort of attached. I just type in a quick Google, I pull a picture that might look like it will be fucking engaging and click up on, and I don't do any research on that picture. I do zero research on the picture. I take the picture, I put it in the thumbnail. I just said, like, oh, it's that character, somebody made a fan art of it. Oh, well, you didn't credit the fan art creator. I don't fucking care. Like, they're drawing fan art off a copyrighted character, so they're using fair use. I'm gonna use fair use on their shit, right? So I like take that, I put it on my thumbnail, and I don't think anything about it. Now, if somebody were to say that that's from like a sick, depraved fucking lolicon drawer, right, I would then change the thumbnail after I found that out. But I don't do any like deep dives on my pictures on my thumbnails. I really don't. So that is a clarification that I think is super important. Did he do it a few days after the Shadman thing, or was it there for years and he knew about it?
Remember the video that I talked about that had a Shadman art in the thumbnail, and I changed it? And people kept saying that, no, I don't believe you that you changed the thumbnail back 3 years ago. You probably just changed it right now. Game of Thrones memes are fucked up. Last updated thumbnail, 11/24/2020.
See, look, I was fucking right. So that's the thing. Like, this is where people are try to take a drama from the past and try to take any shit they can dig up. Like it. If I was in this situation, I used the picture and it ended up being attached to somebody like Shadman, I would then change it immediately after I knew it. I would be changing that thumbnail so fucking fast, right? And so if I changed it, I did the right thing. Look at that. I don't have association with him. But then they fucking are like, oh, well, yeah. See, that was the clarification I need. Now I know it's a retarded argument.
He asked him for a collaboration where Nux's excuse was he was going to make fun of him.
People are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster. Which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. I troll, confront people when I collab the same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on LOLcow, and if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons.
And at one point he even had direct contact with Shadman, where multiple videos resurfaced of him talking about the DMs.
I'm trying to make is, yes, I did get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while, back in the day, rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, I'd have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. Man, that's a weird, yeah. And,
that's a way to start a sentence.
That's a way to start a sentence, and he has some interesting takes on Gardevoir.
Again, dude, if you're making fun of the guy, I see no problem with this. I know that people are probably saying that, oh, you're fucking sweeping or something, but like this whole drama, like there's literally no evidence to prove anything other than what Nux is saying. Everything is just like, everything is not substantial. There's a word for it. I'm fucking drawing a blank. It's all just terrible evidence, and it's just like it was fucking pitchforks and torches mentality, and I really don't like that.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Yeah, they're weird. Dude, honestly, it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, through DMs. I didn't speak to him, like, voice, but it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had.
And even one video where he says he doesn't want to get him in trouble.
Shadman once, it was the weirdest interaction of my life. Like, that dude may actually open up the DMs. Let me see if I can find anything funny he said. Oh my god, I can't even read you most of this. I can't even, oh my god, I literally can't read any of this to you. I really want to show them to you, but I don't want to, like, show you anything that I can't reveal. Like, I don't want to actually get him in trouble. It's just like, yeah.
But Nux clarifies he never knew about the Keemstar Shadman thing. Now, it's been unclear if Nux was ever going to actually...
I mean, that makes him look pretty incriminating, but at the same time, if we don't know anything more about this situation than what kind of Nux's says, and I mean, like, there's also a time where Shadman wasn't looked at as a monster until after the Keemstar thing. Now, I don't know much about Shadman. I think that he's disgusting. I think that everything about him is gross, but... At the same time, like, I don't really see anything here that's, like, pulling Nux into being the hugest Shadman fan. And, again, by, like, attacking Shadman at that time period, like, if you would have gone in after him, like, making fun of him because he was cringe was one thing, but, like, going in after him could have been, like, a huge hit on your channel as well. Not that I'm saying that that's, like, a pussy way to not go about it, but, like... It's one of those things that unless you have, like, solid proof against somebody, you can't, like, go out there and just like scorch earth the motherfucker. Now, to have him on a video and then collab with him and get him to say incriminating things and make him look like an asshole is a much better way to go about it, because like otherwise you're gonna end up in the same position as he was, where he was like alluding that one dude was a PDF file, right? Yeah, one dude was a pedophile, and then all of a sudden it turns out that, like, what if it would have turned out that Shadman wasn't a creep like he ended up becoming, and then all of a sudden he's getting a drama because he made a false equivalence.
He roast Shadman if he did a video with him, or if he truly didn't know about what Shadman was doing, but the fact he had direct contact with someone like Shadman, many still viewed as incriminating, even though in his own words he was just making fun of him. In his response, he also said he regrets a lot of his previous content and the involvement of Lolly in them, and he has always been against Lolly.
It wasn't a review of LollyCon. That's obviously bad faith. Probably one of the most bad faith ways to twist what actually happened I've ever heard. Now, I have said in the past, and I'll say it again, I do regret making a lot of those old videos. I have literally always been against the Lolly. I made old videos where I found, like, crazy hentai, and I showed them to people for shock value. These hentai videos are on YouTube also, and I reacted to a YouTube video, being like, this is crazy that this came out of Japan and is literally on YouTube. So, anyway... It was a little wild. I invited a lot of people to the call. Obviously, no one thought it was weird. People had eyeballs. I mean, everyone thought that the content was weird.
Well, and here's the thing. Nux got most of the fucking flack for this, and it's funny that nobody else. Mutahar got some flack, but there was so many popular creators that like engaged in this, and it was like only Nux was getting called out, which I thought was so fucking funny. When any of these people, if they did not like it, they could have told Nux to take them out of the video. If they would have saw it and they were like, I don't want to be a part of this, and please take me out of this. Don't talk to me again. Then it would be a different situation. If there was like tons of people coming out, they were like, yeah, Nux tried to put me in this video. I said I didn't want to because I didn't, but nobody did that. It was just Spurgs on the internet getting mad at him.
Controversy just boils down to Nux saying he hated something, but he was involving it in his content and was actively showing it to people, and he also shouldn't have had ties with someone making terrible NSFW art, even if he was going to make fun of him. Now, this is where the controversy stood for some time, but then the post-Nux clarity hit for Mutahar a few months later, which, to give him credit, is a good title. But Mutahar made a video basically saying he was distancing himself...
An epic title. That post-Nux clarity was one of the best titles ever.
...from Nux, due to some feedback he got from Reddit.
But to go back to it, Nuxtaku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship, and I really can't, like, again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content.
He said they had no more business relations and they were no longer friends due to things like the Tiger situation, the Shadman situation and the Lolly involvement, which he had some part in and showed remorse for it.
I mean, it also was talked about on your podcast. See, this is where, like, literally Mutahar was there every step of the way. He got pushback from Chud Logic. He got pushback from some of these other people that were trying to, they got hyper-focused on Nux, trying to, like, take him down and try to make this drama something bigger, which, I mean, there is parts of this drama that make fucking Nux look bad. The Shadman stuff makes Nux look bad. Really fucking bad. I mean, but like to go back to 2016 and then like look at all these people and like nobody had a problem with it then, but now that we can attach it to Chris Tyson, we can attach it to Vosh, we can like turn this into a drama to take down Nux. All these other people are like, not all these other, but the main person that came out against it was or that came and like threw fucking Nux under the floorboards and then shot him, tried to shoot him, was Mutahar, and he was there every step of the fucking way, dude. It's like, oh, it's like when fucking iDub said he found empathy at 30.
But in this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all of this, right? This wasn't us sitting together watching Loli, you know, just on like the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it. But we should have. It really did blindside me. There was a bias, call it, you know, friendship bias, call it, you know, there was other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and if any way contributed to normalizing it.
And he went on to say he didn't know about Nux's content and he was naive to some of the things he took part in.
Wait, you should have more in those videos?
But in this video he was basically taking accountability for his involvement, but then deleted the video, citing he was overreacting, and he apologized to Nux, and they are still friends.
Muta deleted his video, posted a community post, and then called me. And apologized.
Many thought this was disingenuous of Mutahar taking accountability then walking it back, and he did receive a lot of flack for this, many citing that wearing the Christian medallion was giving off some gamma radiation and probably skewed his judgment due to this. And many said
well, and here's the thing too. I don't think it was just like this is kind of like skewed against Nux right now. In the way that it's putting out the narrative, the way that it's missing all the context, like it's missing all the factors that it's like, one, the drama was kind of fucking retarded. Two, it's like taking that Mutahar like amplified it and turned it into this giant hit piece, which it never needed to be, because he got fucking Reddit brained and was listening to all like he was like falling down these drama rabbit holes, and like if I was Chud Logic at the time, and I'm not like trying to hate on Chud Logic here, but if I was Chud Logic and I didn't like Nuxanor, which he doesn't, and I was friends with Mutahar, and I saw a way like to like build this drama up to put Mutahar in a tough spot, which then amplifies the drama to make him stab his own friend in the back. That's content, baby. That's content. Now, I'm not saying that Chud Logic went into it with ill will against Mutahar and trying to turn it into a drama that it wasn't, but I think that he was one of the people that didn't like Nuxanor, saw this as an opportunity to tie him to another big drama, because one of the aspects of the drama was being attached to Shadman, and that then he knew that he could attach to Nux, and then he went through all of Nux's old shit, found anything that might look like Lolly, or any of these reaction videos where he pulled shit off of YouTube and tried to, a lot of people just started like categorizing all this stuff. This was the only thing out of this entire video that was an actual cancellation. This was a bunch of spurgs on the internet trying to find anything they could possibly use as ammo against Nux and try to take him down and everybody around him. This was the only time I ever saw him where I was like, this is him actually getting canceled. Everything else was fucking Nux saying he was getting canceled, which Nux thinks criticism is cancellation.
He was just throwing Nux under the bus, who was supposedly his friend, so he didn't have to deal with the Reddit hate. Mutahar probably should have thought a lot more about this before making the video, but the two of them made up anyway, apparently. But the fallout of this video was a lot of the previous stuff being brought up again against Nux, and other people like Chud Logic were affected when they were told contradicting things by Mutahar and reported on it.
My boots have been pissed on, and I've been told that it's raining, right? It is 100% without question that Mutahar did say to me, okay, he did say to me that it was ending because of Nuxtaku and the Shaman connection, and then later changed that.
But overall, a lot of content creators before the post-Nux Clarity video and after did start to distance themselves from Nux.
I love me some chaos now and again, but it was a pretty rough moment there.
So in conclusion, does Nux deserve the reputation?
By the way, it wasn't just Nux that people distanced themselves from. People distanced themselves from Mutahar as well for handling this so piss poorly. Again, I think that I was watching Chud Logic during this drama because I was interested in it, because I was like, holy shit, is this this Nux guy a creep? Is this what it is? And it just, to me, it felt like more of a witch hunt than it was an actual drama piece. And then it just kind of seemed like Muta was all over the place, and he was just being so, I don't know, it was just fucking, Muta was being fucking weird about the whole thing, like kind of annoying, where he was trying to protect himself, but like by any means necessary, and willing to burn anybody in order to protect himself. And it was just this Reddit brain mentality. Muta was like crashing out hardcore during that time period. But in like the situation of Chud Logic and the whole thing, I think that he was being like, I think he was like, he had fire in his eyes, and he wanted to take down Nuxtaku, and he was willing to use any evidence that could possibly fit his narrative to do so. And it got to the point where even I was looking at some of the shit, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, he was like taking stuff like, oh, he changed the thumbnails, but that doesn't mean that he didn't. And I'm like, bro, if he changed the thumbnails, then he fucking realizes they were wrong, right? I mean, like, if I found out a drama about a thumbnail I made, like, well, I haven't been on the platform very long, but if I made, like, 5 years from now, if I find out that one of my thumbnails was, like, attached to something gross, I will go back and change it, because that's the responsible thing to do, right? But to act like all of his thumbnails were just changed because of the Shadman drama, and then Nux comes out and says, look, it wasn't. It makes you look like you're just on a witch hunt. And that's where I started like listening to both sides, which I try to do with most arguments, is I try to look at both perspectives and make my own opinion. And I'm not gonna lie, it was like 75% of what Chud and everybody who was trying to take Nux down was saying was getting perfectly refuted by Nux, and then like 25 I could see their point, right? Like some of the DM shit, I was like, it doesn't look great for Nux. This isn't I don't know how this sits in the context, but I don't know if it's a fucking I don't know how fucking Nux can talk his way out of this one, or how he can rationalize this. And some of it, like, does make him look bad. Even if he was trying to be friendly with the guy to get him on to troll him, it's still, like, it's still a little sus. I mean, it's the same logic people have used against, like, Oompaville, or getting, Andrew Tate on his show. Like, he was, like, really friendly with him beforehand in order to get him on the show, and then people still criticize him for having him on the show, so I don't know. That's where I have the question marks, but the rest of it I just thought was fucking witch hunting.
Of the most hated VTuber. Looking at all the controversies, he tried to do the right thing with the V Shoujo situation, and the Jaden Animations thing was just kind of a joke. But due to his own actions, like contradicting himself at times or going back on what he says and taking no accountability, except for sometimes years later, it has led to a lot of people hating him. So yes, he does somewhat deserve that title, mostly due to his past controversies and the public perception of him. But in the present, I predict we probably won't see any more dramas from Nux. I'm probably wrong.
No, dude, he's gonna get so much more drama. This guy, like, lives in drama land. But yeah, that's all I had really for that one. I mean, it was kind of ended up being a much longer stream than I wanted it to be. But my base thought at the end of it is, the only drama that I think actually mattered in the slightest was the Shadman one, and I think that was one of those ant out of a molehill, or mountain out of a molehill situations where it was one of those things where it's like, oh, you sneeze in the direction of somebody who ended up becoming controversial, but at the time wasn't controversial. Because you have to remember, like, in context of that time period, the dude wasn't that controversial until he was actually, like, celebrated until, like, the whole Keemstar situation blew up, and then he was hated, right? So you like, it was, like, leading that direction. It was one of those things that was leading that direction, and if I were in the same position as Nux and I wanted to get him on the show to, like, troll him, if we want to go by the Nux narrative, I would have done the same thing. I would have feigned that I wasn't, like, an enemy. I wasn't, like, I wanted to just, like, hear his perspective, right? And then I would ask pointed questions to then kind of see if he would like out himself as being a scumbag, and then I would have done my correct job as an interviewer, or he ends up not being a scumbag and he proves himself. That's how this shit goes, right? So I can understand that perspective. Now again, Shadman is a scumbag and the disgusting human, but we have to contextualize some of this shit to make sense. And I think that when you get into witch hunt mindset, you are never contextualizing anything. So that's basically my thought process. I still find Nux pretty entertaining. Am I condoning everything that Nux says and saying that everybody needs to be a fan of him and not be critical of him? Absolutely not. You should be critical of every single person you see on this platform. They are not your friends. Get that parasocial shit out of here and just fucking just like try to look those things through a critical eye the best you can. That's all I can tell people. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much, and like and subscribe, you gooners.